Just give a couple more minutes for folks to show up. Just wanted to share this. Now is looking like a real good time to be in New York.
Is it hot in Montana already?
This is the smoke map. This is where I am.
Ooh,
And then
what's that from?
All the fires, yeah. All the fires right now, they are burning.
Oh, those are Canadian wildfires?
Yep. But look at you. Clear as day. Smoke-free air.
I'm telling you, whenever I hear people your age talking about buying property, like the effects of climate change weigh very heavily, it seems like. Which is, I mean, I don't blame you, but it's like I am writing for a real estate. I do SEO, so I do some stuff for a real estate blog, and it's just like, you guys should focus more on climate change because young people really care about where they should buy property.
Well, aren't there like specific states that are proven to be extremely climate resistant?
I think the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and us.
Yeah, okay. That's good. I would say like
Minnesota. I'm not sure about Minnesota. Not a lot. I mean, long term, in my lifetime, it'll be fine, but in your lifetime, who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like the UP is about to get some smoke too. So,
well, that's hopefully a relative one-off. But the whole American West seems like unlivable at times, certain times of the year now.
Well, yeah, especially if the water keeps getting the way it is, big droughts and
unbelievable what we've done. But hey, Exxon got rich, so that's good.
Yeah, we had cheap gas. That was nice.
Yeah,
A good friend of yours is up in Canada near the fires. Are they doing okay? Are they having to evacuate or anything crazy? So far, nice. Latonia, do you have a announcement for us?
Yes, hello everyone. Happy to your Thursday, Friday. Max wants everyone who has not had a chance yet to please go into Slack in the CIC C5 channel and vote on the poll. I'll post a question here so you know what it is. And it looks like so far they're all yeses, but no pressure. He just wants to make sure everyone has a chance to vote on that, okay? So it's about class being regular or something of a field trip on 6/15. And he posted some extra information about it underneath the actual poll. So that was it. Just want to give a little nudge for folks to make sure they vote. Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. All right. So let's talk about what we're going to do today. We have a couple items to clean up from yesterday. I'm hoping most people were able to get a deploy going, but if not, that's what today is about. Primarily what today is about. I want everybody to walk away this week having a working website, and I'm pretty sure most people are there. There might be a thing here or two that we might need to fix, so we'll go around and make sure that everybody's got a working website. I'm going to talk about analytics for a minute. We're going to talk about user analytics for a minute, and we're going to make sure that you have a way of tracking the number of visits to your website, so you can see how it's doing. And then I want to share a bit of terminal knowledge with you. So how to use the terminal on your computer and kind of get you exposed to that. I've got a little exercise for us to do. All of that is dependent on the time. So if it takes us a while to get all of our websites finished, then we'll skip over that. But the plan today, primarily, make sure that the websites are working. Right. Before we jump into getting started on the websites, anybody have any questions from yesterday? Thoughts, concerns? Anybody excited to have a working website? I know a couple of people got stuff going yesterday.
Yeah, it's nice being able to just type in your domain and have it pop up and just see it.
Yeah, you got something that you can start to share out. Is excellent. So let's jump in. Before I start going around the class and checking on websites just to make sure that we're all squared away, I left out one thing that we need to do for our website. We need to enable HTTPS. I don't know if some folks have done this already, but let me quickly share my screen and show you where to go in order to do that. You probably already have saw this yesterday, but it might have we might not have had it enabled. So let me make sure. Can everybody see the slides okay?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, so head over to your GitHub and go pull up your repository, your personal repository. And then head into settings again. Go down to the pages section under the settings for your repository. And then check that enforce HTTPS box.
So I also had a question to you about like how we bought the domain name, and if we have files like let's say I redesign my website and I do not want to go through GitHub and just want to deploy it like that, how you do that?
So you don't want to use GitHub. You want to use, what do you want to use?
I don't know. That's what I mean. Like that's my question. Like besides GitHub, how can we get it up there? Like on the domain name.
Oh, you have a myriad of options. I mean, you just need a computer that's able to serve files. There's you brought up Netlify, that's one option. Alternatively, there's AWS, Amazon Web Services. It also has a bunch of offerings that can serve files easily. You can spin up a server and install Nginx on it and use that. There's any number of ways to serve files.
So basically, like we have to upload our file to like Netlify or something, and then use the domain name as a secondary.
Well, so yeah, you what is the domain name? It's a entry in a phone book, and
Okay.
that phone book needs to point to an IP address. Now, you could have that IP address be your Mac's IP address. You could use your Mac to serve your website, but we've already talked about the problems with that. So what you need some computer that's going to be online 24/7 and be able to respond to traffic by giving the index.html and CSS that.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Mhm.
Excuse me, Nate,
Yep.
did you see, Shannon posted that she was locked out last night. I don't know if you addressed that. And then also Taylor said they had to do another DNS check, just some random stuff that's in there. Posted,
Okay.
but I wasn't sure if you wanted to say anything on it.
What, Shannon, what do you mean by your account was locked?
My Namecheap account, tried to go back in and it's completely locked me out. So I've
Like
sent a
it,
request in, but yeah, I haven't gotten any responses.
do you, is that a blocker? Like, did you end up getting your website up?
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just am locked out of that account, so I didn't know if we were gonna have to do anything because I just can't access it at all.
Not, yeah, so it looks good. We're not gonna need to get into, we're not gonna need, oh, great, you have HTTPS working too. Yeah, no, we're not gonna need to go into Namecheap and mess with the DNS entries, so you can get that on your own time.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Taylor, when you say you needed to do another DNS check, are you saying like back here, this is forcing you to do another DNS check? On the pages settings?
Yeah, it said I couldn't check the enforced HTTPS because I had to do another DNS check, which it looked like it finished already and it's checked now.
Oh, great. Cool. All right. So let's go through. Let's go through and before I start looking at folks' websites, let's quickly go through some analytics. There's a number of websites. I'm sure folks have heard of the really popular ones like Segment.io and Google Analytics. But basically, you can inject some JavaScript onto your website in order to be able to track visits. And a lot of these are paid. There's some free tier stuff like Google Analytics has some free tier stuff. One kind of really bare bones monitoring website is called Clicky. I'm going to paste the link in here, but it's really easy to get set up with. Let me here the link to this. That is the user link. Let's change that. All right. Try that. So go to clicky.com and sign up for an account. Register for an account.
Question. Does the email have the same one as the one we used to redirect, the one we redirected to or something, or used to?
Doesn't have to be.
Okay.
You could use it. Yeah, it's up to you. You could totally use it if you'd like, but it doesn't have to. And then when it gets to the register a new website, just put in whatever the domain is that you bought. Once you've created an account on Clicky and you've added your domain name, grab that tracking code that it's offering you up in this banner. So just grab the tracking code here. And it'll have some code for you to copy and paste. You can copy and paste what's here, but I'd recommend taking off that affiliate badge just because it's less stuff that users have to see. And so you should just be left with a script tag. This is just loading some JavaScript. Grab that script tag, and then take that script, and we need to go and upload it to our index.html. So open up your website and throw that somewhere inside of your website code. I'm going to put mine right below the import for my CSS. I'm going to add that little script tag to my HTML, commit and push, and that will deploy. So again, we've signed into Clicky, we've added our domain, and then we've gotten the tracking code. The tracking code is tracking code. If you didn't click on that banner, is under preferences, tracking code. The Shay, for the tracking code, and Shannon, you can get this. Are you able to find the tracking code that I'm talking about? Okay. And then if you don't want that little badge, this little badge there, you can uncheck the affiliate badge and it will just be this script tag. I'd recommend just copying that code. Otherwise, if you have the affiliate badge, it's kind of this little ugly image that shows up. And then as far as where to put it somewhere in your index.html. Where I put mine up here in the head tag. So right below the import for the style.css, that's where I pasted my clicky tracker. But you really can put it anywhere. Put it anywhere in your HTML. As far as what this is doing is it's loading a JavaScript library from Clicky and it's passing in our site ID. These are unique identifiers you get from Clicky. It's passing in that site ID. And so it's initializing a bunch of tracking code using our site ID. Your site ID will be different than mine. But this JavaScript library will, well, we'll see here in a minute what it does. So make that change, commit and push. It's going to take Clicky a couple of minutes to start tracking views on your website. So I'm actually going to log out of this one and show you what it looks like on another website. So here's what one of my existing Clicky websites looks like. So I can see the number of users that have visited my website. Nobody's visited it today, but yesterday I had 4 people. Yesterday I had 4 people visit it. I can click into the website and look at the traffic over the last 7 days. I can see there are about 4 visitors in total, spending a total of 4 minutes on my website. I can see exactly where they came from. They're all based in the United States. They're all looking at the root of my website. I can drill in to exactly what the IP address and browser that was being used when it visited my website, which is handy to know, because if you can understand what browsers are visiting your website, that will give you an idea of what browsers to test with. Any questions about Wiki? So it's just one of those things to enable and then just let it sit. And as you share your website with other people, come back and check it out. See how much your traffic has grown on your website. Yeah, go ahead, Rain.
Yesterday, when purchasing the domain, was it necessary to purchase premium DNS?
No.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So that's just a little bit of user analytics tracking that I want folks to be aware of and have set up on their website. You can set this up on your portfolio. You can set this up on any website that you're interested in seeing what people are doing with it.
Hey, Nate, I have
Alright.
a question. This is
Yeah.
Latone. Did you say this was free for all time? And if you put it on one site, can you then take it off and put it on another site for a little while?
I think it links specifically to the site. So if you took the same tracking ID and moved it over somewhere else, it might get a little confusing. But no, this is not free for all time. Once you get, there's a pricing page. Once you get, I think to like the 100 million view level, then stuff starts costing a little bit more. But for the most part, like being able to see the visitors, what kind of traffic you're getting, what kind of browsers are visiting you, how long they're staying on your website, that sort of thing, all of that is free. Cool. All right, so the next thing to jump into is talking about the terminal for a little bit. Before I do though, I want to go through and make sure that we have all of our websites set up. So this is going to take a little bit, but I want to just make sure that everyone has a working website with HTTPS, and if not, then we will fix whatever needs to be fixed there. So I'm just going to start from the top of the list to go down real quick, and we might be able to get this finished here pretty quick. So this is set up with HTTPS and looks good. Genevieve, do you have any questions about your website? It looks like it's all ready to go. All right. Kenny, looks like you've got HTTPS set up. This looks great. Any questions?
Nah, not really.
Perfect. All right. Shannon, I just looked at this one earlier, and I think you've got HTTPS set up. Any questions? I think this is good. Cool. Taylor, you've got HTTPS enabled and your website's working. Any questions?
Nope, no questions. Thank you.
Perfect. Kalash, you've got HTTPS set up. This looks great. Any questions?
No, we're good.
Awesome. Also, as I'm going through these, if you have Clicky installed, you should be seeing my traffic as I visit your website. Terra browser, you have HTTPS enabled. Awesome. The website looks great. Any questions for me?
No, not right now.
All right. Dakota, the website looks good. Sequota, do you have HTTPS enabled? Mr. Quota with us today.
Could you show us how to do that again? Because mine
Yeah.
isn't there.
So to make sure that HTTPS is enabled, go to your repository.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. And then click on settings.
Mhm. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, in the desktop, you mean, right?
No, on the GitHub website.
Oh,
So go to your
okay.
repo and click on settings for the repo.
Yeah. You don't have that. Mine looks different. Wait.
On the github.com website.
Oh, on the github.com website. Yeah. Repositories. Here, can I just share my screen quick?
Yeah, go for it. Shannon, you won't see a clicky, you won't see a visit in clicky for probably 5 to 10 minutes. Clicky does all its aggregation on like this kind of slow interval. It will eventually, assuming that you commit and pushed up. Yeah, go ahead and click on your Eva Carafa. Yep, click on that. And then
Oh,
go
there.
to
Okay.
settings.
Ugh.
Yep. Scroll down to pages on the left. The pages section. Yep.
Yep.
Scroll down. Keep going. Check that enforce HTTPS box.
Ah, okay.
Perfect.
Yay.
That's it.
Thank you.
Nate, my box wasn't checked until just now when I was following along with her screen share, but it was working.
Yeah, I think that you will get a TLS certificate, but it's not so I think you'll get the TLS certificate, but when someone visits the website with HTTP, not HTTPS, but HTTP, they won't get redirected.
Oh, okay.
Now, if they visit with HTTP, they'll get sent to the HTTPS website.
Okay. Thank you.
So Nate, that just means I have that little padlock.
Well, you had the padlock before. It's just that we weren't requiring visitors to visit the version of your web page with the padlock. Now we are. Now the only version of your website that folks can visit is the padlocked version.
Ah, okay. Thank you.
So we will, let's insert a row here. So we'll come back and do this. And then we'll check on that one later. Danny. And your HTTPS version works. Very nice. Any questions for me? You all set? All right. Gugging deep. Looks good. Any questions for me? I think you're all set.
No, all good.
Awesome. Corwin, thank you for the link. HTTPS looks good. Any questions for me? Coding queues. Let's check the HTTPS version. I'm pretty sure that this one is not. Alize, I'm pretty sure that the box for the redirect is not set on GitHub. So be sure to go into the settings on your GitHub repo, go to pages and make sure that enforce HTTPS is set. Alize here. Okay. Rain, did you end up getting a domain purchase yesterday?
So I had a few issues and I was just gonna do a one-on-one. Every time I hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Every time I would put in the name of the domain, first it would say that it's 958. And then like if you check, for example, raining code, it's now $999. So I couldn't really decide on that. And yeah. All right.
So did you end up buying a domain?
I'm sorry.
Did you end up buying a domain?
I believe I now have rainingcodesplural.com. But
Okay.
it's not completely set up. It's not.
Okay. All right. Well, let me just make a note and we'll come back and look at that.
Yeah, if you can just give me just a moment, please.
Yep.
I'm like juggling over here right now.
Is Monty here today? No. All right. Brandy. Brandy, I think you also need to make sure that that box is checked. Do you know if that is? Are you here, Brandy? Man, we got a lot of people out today. No, Brandy, you are here. Never mind. Is that box checked in your repo settings? Maybe.
I am actually checking that right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Amberlyn, HTTPS version looks good. Any questions?
No questions.
Cool. Natasha? Is Natasha here today?
And then she's trying to get
Okay.
here.
All right. And then Obsidian full stack. This looks great. And I think it's doing the HTTP to HTTPS redirect. Sure is. So you definitely have that set. Any questions for me? Otherwise, this looks good.
I think I fixed the thing. I checked the box.
All right. Yep, totally. It's redirecting me now. Nice job. Shade, any questions for me? Looks like you're all set. All right. Let's talk about the terminal. So if you have any questions about the website it looks like pretty much everybody has a working website. So I think that we're all set there. But if you have any other questions, feel free to throw them in chat. Otherwise, we're going to jump to talking about the terminal a little bit. So I have used the terminal already a little bit in class. I know, has Max shown any of you a little bit of the terminal? Does he use it from time to time? Okay. So, well, let me back up. Can anybody tell me what they think the terminal is? Anybody have previous experience using one?
Yeah, I used a little bit like doing npm like packages for like bootstraps and like Tailwind, stuff like that, or downloading stuff.
So when you say you used it for npm,
Like to download it.
yeah. So could you have installed JavaScript packages without using the terminal?
No, I think I did it through the what is it called, the code, the visual code terminal through that.
Yep.
So I mean, we could have used the CDN. I could have used the CDN link, but I think the package was like it easier just import Bootstrap and you have Bootstrap.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, you could have worked around it by loading it through the CDN. Yeah, good point. Are we able to set up subpages using GitHub? Yeah, just make a normal folder on your website. Yeah. Like for example, if I wanted to have subpages on my personal repository, all I would need to do is in Finder create a new folder, call it like media, more media. So I'm putting a folder in a folder, and then let's see. So I've got media, more media. I'm going to create a file inside of there called media.html. Commit and push all of that. So now my URL is going to be my website /media/more media /media.html. So yeah, just create that path using folders in your repository. Does that answer your question? Here in about 30 seconds, I'll open up the website and prove that that actually worked. But kind of jumping back to what Gagan was saying about NPM, there are some things as a developer that you're only going to be able to do through the terminal. Right now, you're learning about JavaScript, and one of the things that Max will have you do eventually is install other libraries using NPM, the Node package manager. And there's not a program like on your computer like GitHub Desktop. There's no GUI, there's no application that you can just open up called NPM and point and click to install libraries. Instead, it's only available from the terminal. And NPM is just one of many packages that's only available from the terminal. So what is the terminal? It's really meant for power users. It's meant for developers. It's kind of an alternative to Finder in the sense that you can move around on your computer in the terminal. You can move around in it similar to how you move around using Finder. You already have a terminal installed by default. Every Mac comes with an application called Terminal. So if you open up Spotlight or your applications folder and you start typing in terminal, you'll get a box that looks similar to this. Now, again, mine will look different than yours because I've got some themes in my terminal. But right now, if you go and open up Spotlight or your application folder, you can also get this open up this terminal program. So that's one way of getting a terminal. The other way that you've seen already is you can do it through VS Code. So if you open up Visual Studio Code, you can right click over here on the left and click open an integrated terminal, and that'll give you a big terminal down here. So either way is up to you. Some people really like doing the terminal inside of VS Code because it's all in one spot. I personally like having my terminal outside of my text editor, but it's totally up to you how which one you prefer. For this, I'm going to use my terminal outside of the text editor, but feel free to use the one inside of VS Code if you like that better. Alternatively, I just wanted to plug this terminal. It's actually my favorite. It's called iTerm2. I'll paste a link here in Zoom if you feel like checking this out. It's kind of like a replacement for the terminal that comes with the Mac. I think it's nicer, but either way, I'm just giving you a ton of different options for getting a terminal. You pick which one you like best. But I've already talked about the fact that some programs are only available in the terminal. But in addition to that, at a certain point, you're going to start running your code from the terminal. When you start writing backend code with Node, the only way that you'll be able to run it is through the terminal. So that's kind of what today is about, is to give you a really soft introduction to what the terminal is and how you can use it. So at this point, you should have picked one of the three options that I gave you for getting a terminal and have a terminal open. Okay, let's start with the foundational command. So let's start with the first foundational command for the terminal, cd. Does anybody have an idea of what cd stands for?
The change directory.
Exactly, yep. This is the command that you use to move around in the terminal. And I want you to visualize, when I say move around in the terminal, I want you to visualize the Finder window. Similar to how you open up Finder and you start pointing and clicking around to move to different places, like jump to the desktop or downloads folder or all those different places. Similar to that, the terminal is the exact same way. When you open up a terminal, it's like opening up Finder. You start in, just like in Finder, you start in a certain location, and from there you move around. Every time you open up the terminal, you're usually going to start in the home directory. So let's open up the terminal. I'm going to open up my terminal. You open up yours. We're going to try using the change directory command. To enter in a command into the terminal, type in cd and hit enter. If you type change directory and you don't type in a directory to move to or to a place to go, so you just type in the word cd, it will default to moving you to the home directory. That means you're going to be sitting, I'll show you where that looks, where that is in Finder. Your home directory looks like this. It's your users and then your Mac username. So cd by itself, just cd, will always return you to the home directory. Now let's move from the home directory, let's move to the desktop. To do that, you type cd and then you say where you want to go. So we're going to go to the desktop, type in cd, desktop. Yeah, absolutely. And hit enter. Now your terminal should change a little bit. Now it will, your prompt will change a little bit. Mine looks different than yours. I know mine is a little bit different, but your prompt will have changed a little bit because you've now moved into the desktop. Is anybody not able to cd into the desktop?
Telling me there's no such file or directory.
How can we get your team? Because it looks cool. Because it says your name at Nathan and then in desktop. It explains it also.
Yeah, that's why I added this theme. It's the very last slide. I'll definitely share that with you. So somebody was saying that they have no such file or directory. Type in cd again and hit enter. That will take you to the home directory. Did that work?
It just went down to another. Do you want me to show you?
Yeah, show me. Yeah, great. You're right where you're supposed to be. Notice how you're at that tilde symbol. So from here, so click into that terminal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, type CD desktop. Enter. Perfect. You're on the desktop.
Oh, why was it doing that earlier?
Because of exactly what Latonia and Taylor just noticed. It is case sensitive.
Okay, gotcha.
Perfect.
Thanks.
The CD does not need to be capitalized, but I think you already knew that. All right. So if we CD into the desktop, that is how you move around. Now, if we want to go back to the home directory, we could do that by again doing CD, or we can move up a folder. So this is just like if you were in Finder and you clicked back in Finder, we can move up a folder by using a special shortcut called ... That means wherever I am, leave the folder and go up. So now you should be back at the home directory. So try moving around a little bit from the home directory. Try CDing into different places. You can CD into your downloads folder and then back out of it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me share my screen. So from your home folder, try CDing into your downloads folder and then back out of it with CD ... If you ever get lost and you're not sure where you're at, just type CD and that will, can't see my terminal. Are you able to see it now? If you ever get lost, just type CD and that will bring you back to the home directory. And from there, you can get into desktop and downloads and all those folders. Any questions so far? CD is the first command that everyone learns in the show.
Nathan, was it CD ... or just ...
CD space ...
Oh,
That
okay.
is the shortcut to move up a folder, to
Okay.
leave the folder you're currently in and go or out.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So the second command is ls. And you could type that, go ahead.
Sorry. So CD, when I do CD downloads, it doesn't come.
So are you inside of the desktop?
No, I was
folder?
like, I was on the overall folder, like wherever my name says, like Nathan MacBook Air. That's what I was.
So try doing a CD and hit enter to return to your home directory.
All right, 1 second. CD. Yep.
All right, and then from there, do another CD downloads. So Genevieve, it's just like if you have two Finder windows open, they'll both have their own separate positions.
I wasn't putting the S in the end.
Yeah, every time you open up a terminal, you're getting basically a new Finder window. They never share state between them. Great question. All right. So the next command I'm going to teach you is ls. This shows you what is in the folder that you're currently in. So if you just type ls and hit enter, it will show you all of the files that are in that directory where you're currently at. Yep, and as Latonia is pointing out, one of the cool things you can do in the terminal is if you start to type something like CD desktop, if you start filling out the word, you can hit the tab key on your keyboard, and most of the time it will autocomplete. That's what makes makes things in the terminal go so much faster, is you can use tab to autocomplete some of this stuff. So feel free to try that out. All right. So you know CD, so now you can move around a little bit. You know LS. Kenny, LS isn't working for you, or CD is not working for you? Oh, the CD dot shortcut. Tab. So let me show you an example of how to use tab. Type CD, return to your home folder. You know that the desktop is right below you. You know downloads is right below you. If you do an LS there, you'll see that all of those files are in that directory. Now start typing CD desk and then hit tab. Is it autocomplete for you?
Yeah, it's not doing it.
Let me stop sharing. Show me what you're looking at.
You said share screen.
Yeah.
Can you see
Yeah,
it?
Danny's hitting the same thing.
Not share.
Yep, I can see. Yeah, exactly. So you did an LS earlier. You see that there's folders, application, desktop, downloads there. Do CD, capital D, ES, and hit tab.
Oh, now it works. That's weird.
Yeah, it's the case sensitivity there.
Wow, that's annoying. Cool.
And then if you do, yeah, as you just noticed, if you don't enter anything at all and hit tab, it will suggest every possible option. All right. Danny, were you able to fix it by using the correct case sensitivity? You are muted.
No, I did not try yet. I was just watching to see what we had to do.
Oh, yeah. So if you're trying to use tab to autocomplete, just make sure that you're using the right case sensitivity. For desktop, it starts with a capital D. So you would type in. Let me show
Yeah,
my
that's
screen.
probably what my issue has been. I've just been using the lowercase.
Yeah. So if you CD to the home directory and then try to navigate into desktop, make sure you use capital D, and then tab should autocomplete for you.
Yep, that worked. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So just as a refresher, we've opened the terminal, we've typed in CD to get to the home directory. We've used LS to practice listing the files where we currently are. So you can do things like navigate to the desktop, and LS to see all of the files on your desktop. So that's LS. So you're armed with the ability to move around and the ability to see what is around you. Anybody want to take a guess at what PWD means? Not pwned. PWD stands for present working directory. So if you go into the terminal and type PWD, you can do this at any time. It just prints out where on the computer you are. So if you're inside of the desktop folder and you type out PWD and hit enter, it will print, yeah, your path is users, your name / desktop. So again, PWD is kind of handy for if you feel like you're getting lost and you're like, well, where am I on the computer? PWD will help you. We'll tell you exactly where you're at. All right. Any questions about PWD? All right, I've got two more, and then we'll jump into an exercise to help practice some of these. These are the commands that I use every single day. It's MV and CP. MV stands for move something and CP stands for copy something. So this is all the same sort of stuff that you can do through Finder, but if you practice doing it through the terminal, you will be able to do this much quicker than if you were to do this in Finder. So let me show you an example of using MV. MV takes two arguments. It takes what you want to move and where you want to move it to. So if we go back into the terminal, let's say that I have a, let me CD. Let's say that I have a file called client.ovpn, and I want to move it from my home folder to my desktop. To do that, I would say MV, that's the command to move something. It's going to take two arguments, what I want to move and where I want to move it. What I want to move is the file client. I can start typing that out. I want to move that file to my desktop. So I say desktop. Hit enter. I'm going to do an LS to check my home folder. If it moved correctly, this will no longer be here. Sure enough, my file has moved from my home folder into the desktop. That's the same as if I had gone into Finder, grabbed the file, dragged it over into the desktop folder. Any questions about MV? I could bring that file back from the desktop back to my home folder. Again, the syntax for that would be what I want to move and where I want to move it to. And what I want to move is right now inside of the desktop folder. And if I do another LS, notice that it's back. So I moved it from inside of the desktop to here in the home directory. So MV takes two arguments, takes what you want to move and where you want to move it to. Would you need to be in the folder to use MV, or it doesn't matter as long as you specify it in the terminal? Great question. It matters where you are. Notice how I typed desktop/client OVPN. I had to specify desktop because from the home folder to reach that file, I would need to go into the desktop folder, grab client.ovpn. So it matters a lot where you are when you're typing these commands out. I can't, for example, I can't be in the downloads folder and do the same thing. I can't from the downloads folder, which is a neighbor of the desktop folder, I can't move that file from here. If I do that, it will say no such file or directory. I have to be above the file that I'm trying to grab, if that makes sense. All right. CP is the exact same, except instead of moving a file, instead of cut and paste, CP is copy and paste. So it leaves the original file there and it copies it somewhere else. So it would be CP, what you want to move and where you want to copy it, or sorry, what you want to copy and where you want to copy it to. Any questions about MV and CP? If you aren't totally grasping MV and CP, don't worry, because we're about to practice using it.
Hey Nate, it's Latonia. Sometimes there's a scenario where you'll go to move it or copy and it'll require you to rename it. Can you just say a word on that? Or is that like a unique case? I know I've seen it a lot.
If you move a file into a folder that has the same name, it will overwrite it. I haven't run into a situation before where it asks you to rename it. it's just one of the kind of scary things about using MV is you just have to be certain of what you want to do when you move something, because you can overwrite something that's already there. All right, then the last one before we get into the exercise is mkdir. This just stands for make directory, and it's really simple. You just say mkdir. It takes one argument, the name of the folder. So if you say mkdir folder, I'm going to ls. I've got a folder called folder. Super simple. Way faster than right clicking and saying create new directory in Finder. This one isn't on the slides, but to delete a folder, rmdir. So mkdir is to make, rmdir is to remove. And now that folder is removed. But you are now armed with enough knowledge to be able to move around in the terminal, to be able to ls, to list files in the terminal, to be able to copy and move files, and to make folders. So with that, let's actually go ahead and take a break. But when we come back, we're going to practice all this in the terminal. So let's do 20 minutes back at 6:52.
Hi, Nate.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? Okay, so take a deep breath. All right, so I do obviously need your assistance, but is there any way that like a one-on-one can be scheduled with you or like Latonia before Saturday? Or well, not before this Saturday, well, at any point.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
are you you're on the calendar list, right?
Yep. Just book it on there.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would just rather do that because I don't want to take you off track from what we're currently doing with the terminal, etc.
Cool.
But that's
Yep.
okay. Just out of
That works for
respect.
me.
Awesome sauce. Oh, let's take it off and put it back on mute.
Hi, it's Natasha.
Thanks, Natasha.
Hi. I was having issues at home with my internet, so I came to Panera. I'm actually not sure how you got your commands in your terminal because I opened mine to follow along and I'm typing what you're typing and I'm not seeing what you're.
Can you share your screen?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this looks great. You're in the right spot. So one of the commands that I want you to feel comfortable using, and you can do this anytime you want, is cd. So type cd and hit enter. Yep. All right. So now you're at the home directory. If you do an ls here, this will list out all the files. So type ls and hit enter. So this is just like if you had this open in Finder, but you're looking at it through the terminal. Yeah. So try moving around a little bit. So use the CD. So type CD and space and start typing desktop with a capital D because it's case sensitive. Hit tab at any point. Yep. And hit enter. All right. Notice how and notice how to the left it changed a little bit. And now you're inside of the desktop folder.
Wow.
So do an ls in here. Let's see what's on your desktop. Perfect.
Whoa. Okay, thank you.
So this is just
like I missed some magical introduction and you punched in some code and
nope. This is just
Awesome.
us practicing. We're moving around using the terminal as opposed to with the Finder window.
I love it. Thanks so much.
Nice. All right, welcome back. So we're going to do an exercise to practice a little bit of what we've done so far. What I'd like you to do, what I'd like for you to do is, I'm going to paste a link here in Zoom chat. What I'd like for you to do is to click on the link. This is the exercise we're going to work off of. Up in the top right of GitHub, there is a fork button. This is going to let you create a copy of this repository, your very own copy of this repository that you control. So go up there in the top right. I want you to fork this repository. All of the settings that pop up when you click fork should be correct. So just hit create fork, the green button. We got 3 forks so far. For everybody else that's just joining, I posted a link in Zoom chat. Open up that link, go up to the top right, next to the star button. Feel free to give it a star too if you'd like. Hit the fork button. I want you to make your own copy of this. 6 forks and 1 star. I'm on my way to being GitHub royalty. Thank you so much.
Do we need to put anything in the description?
Only if you want to. We're just going to use this for an exercise and throw it away. So. "12 forks. Man, all of you are going to put me at the top of the GitHub Explorer page with this much activity. All right, we got 12 forks. Give this a minute to for folks to make their own copy. All right, once you got a fork made, what that's going to let you do is it's going to let you clone this down, clone your own copy down. So open up GitHub Desktop. Go up to that repo picker up in the top left. We're going to download this repository that you just cloned. Go up to the top left in GitHub Desktop, click on that picker. Hit the add button. So you're going to clone a repository just like you did earlier in the week for your repository. Click add. Find your fork. Find that repo called animals. It should be your GitHub username /animals. If you don't see it, refresh, hit that refresh button and it should pop up.
Are we
And
supposed to do the contribute to parent project or own purposes?
Own purposes. Good question. Sorry, mine's being a little wonky. Just trying to get it to clone this thing down. Here we go. Clone repository. Animals, there it is. So when you clone it, it will pop up a box and ask you, do you want to contribute to the parent project or for your own purposes? Click on for your own purposes. If you clicked contribute to the parent project, feel free to just delete this and reclone it. And when you reclone it, make sure to select for my own purposes.
Nate,
Yeah.
I'm having a little difficulty.
Were you able to fork the repository?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you went to the repo picker, you clicked add, you hit clone repository, right?
Hold on 1 second. Clone. Okay, I'm gonna need your assistance.
All right. Let me stop sharing. Maybe some other people have seen this.
I'm typing in, I have a 1-year-old on my head right now. Oh, bless you. Oh, bless you again. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta give me some type of congrats. I'm trying, everyone. I'm doing this. We're doing this. Everyone has something going on, but we're doing this. All right.
Yeah, so click up there in the top left on the current repository. Yep.
All right.
Add, yep. There it is. Clone.
Alrighty. Very nice.
And when it pops up, click the for my own purposes.
For my own purposes. All right.
Perfect. You're all set.
Very good. Thank you.
I think I may have missed a step after fork.
I need to mute.
So after you've forked it on the website, go into GitHub desktop, clone down the repo through that. Does that make sense?
Okay. I'm doing the clone and it's not looking for the animal and it's not. Folder contains only files. Git can
Can you
only clone to empty folders.
Oh, okay. Show me what you got. It looks like you already had something there. Let's see. All right. So in that repo, yep, clone repository. So you probably already cloned it. Did you hit the wrong button when you were, and now you're redoing it?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay, go up and hit clone again. Yep. Add clone. Switch over to the github.com. You're on the URL tab. Switch to GitHub. There you go. Start typing animals. Nothing. Okay, hit that refresh button to the right. There it is.
Oh, so
Go ahead
thank you.
and hit clone. And then when the box pops up, make sure you select the second one. Yep, for my own purposes.
Thanks.
And you've got the code downloaded. Nice job. All right. If you don't have a working fork, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to get a terminal up here in this code. Let me show you how to do that. So you have two options for getting a terminal here in this code. You can open in VS Code. So from within your animals repository, you can open up VS Code and then right click over here, open an integrated terminal, and that will give you a terminal where the code is downloaded. That's your first option. That's one way of getting a terminal. Alternatively, you can open up your favorite terminal app and you can CD to the code. So the path would be CD, documents, GitHub, animals, And that would put you in the folder where this code is at. Either way works. Probably would be simpler to just open up the code using Visual Studio, right click, and then get an integrated terminal. You'll know that you're in the right spot if you do an ls and you see a cat.html and a barn, an indoor pen. You'll know that you're in a working terminal and you're in the right spot. Is anybody able to do an ls and see those things? Got some heads nodding. Okay. All right. For the folks that are here, I know there's probably a couple people that still are trying to get to the spot. So we'll give them a minute to catch up. And if you've got any questions, feel free to ask and I'll jump to you. But for the folks that are here right now, I want you to take all of the animals out of the pens and move them into the barn. I won't be able to tell if you use Finder. This is the honor system. Use the commands that we practiced already. Use MV, use CP, practice moving all of the animal HTML files from the indoor and outdoor pens into the barn. Once you've done that, commit and push. Don't use Finder. If you use Finder, you're only cheating yourself. Any questions about that?
Sorry, we have to
Awesome.
move them or copy them?
You could do either. It's up to you. Probably move them, but your choice.
We're moving
Once
them out of the pen into the barn.
into the barn. Yep.
Okay.
Nate, did you see Danny's hand?
Yeah. Danny, go ahead.
I think I'm completely lost. Can I just share my screen?
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yep, go ahead. Yeah,
So this
you're in
is
the
what
right.
mine looks like.
So
And when I
you're
click
in
LS, nothing shows up.
because you're in the barn right now. So move
Okay.
up one level. So do CD ... in the terminal. So go back into, yep, click in the terminal. CD space ... That means go up one level. Yep, hit enter. LS, what is here? Perfect. So you're sitting in the folder where the barn, the cat, the indoor pen, and the outdoor pen are.
Okay. So I'm where I'm supposed to be now.
You're where you're supposed to be. Now it's on you to move all of the animals from the indoor pen and the outdoor pen to the barn using the
Okay.
MV and CP commands. For reference, I will show my slides, share my screen, show my
All
slides.
right. Thank you so much.
Yep. Here's the link to the slides. I'll throw these into the Zoom chat. But this is the slide for MV and CP with a couple of examples.
Can we select two files with MV, like putting a slash, or we have to do separately?
Oh, good question. I don't think so, but you can use what's called the wildcard, the asterisk, to move multiple files. Remind me, and I'll be happy to show that after this. Natasha, question?
Yeah. Excuse me. How do I open the GitHub repository in VS Code?
So do you have GitHub Desktop, the app, open?
I do.
Can you?
Should I
do
be
you
on
see?
desktop?
Yeah, show me your screen real quick. We can pick it out. Yeah, so this is the GitHub website. Go to and you forked the repository. That's great. Show me the GitHub Desktop app. And I think you set Zoom to just screen share on the GitHub Desktop window.
Oh.
I can't see.
Sorry. So stop it and start again.
Mhm.
Here's a desktop.
All right. So you're trying to clone animals and it says you can only clone empty folders. Strange. I think that you might have downloaded this once before. Go to the local path down that box below where it says local path. Change that from animals to animals 2. So just add a 2 there. All right, hit clone. And then hit for my own purposes. Okay. All right. And then open in VS Code.
There we go. Oh, that thing. It doesn't open for me again. I have to take the long way, remember?
Oh, that's right.
Fun times.
Yeah, that's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Latonia, isn't there a way to like drag and drop onto VS Code and it like opens it automatically? Is that a thing?
I think so, or you can just go in VS Code and click open.
Yeah, that's true. Can you stop sharing this window and open up VS Code and show us that? And you can just share the desktop. You don't have to just share one window.
I don't even know how. Oh, goodness. I thought it was the whole desktop.
Has anybody gotten the pets out of the pens and into the barn?
My damn barn and pets moved to outdoor. Everything in the barn, but it's in the outdoor now. The barn itself. I don't know how.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, same.
So
And then it says it's not a directory, that barn, the new barn. Folder. That, yeah, you're smiling.
Okay. Yep, you're hitting your head on some fun stuff. So hit open here, open, and then let's go to documents, GitHub, GitHub, and animals 2, because that's the one that you just, and hit open down below. Yep. And then just say you trust it. Cool. And then over on the left, right click in that sidebar and hit integrated, open and integrated. It's in any of that white space or that gray space right here. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Open this up, expand that again. There you go. Now right click. Well, keep it expanded and then right click in this open space down below. There you go. Nope. Oh, weird. Right click on one of the files, like the readme.html. There you go. Now open an integrated terminal. And now you have a terminal in the right spot. Yep. Tara?
Okay, so I moved the indoor and outdoor pen into the barn, but then I also moved the cat. I don't think I was supposed to move that because then
Into the barn? You moved the cat in the barn?
Yeah. So if I
Perfect.
go back into, wait, that's right. We're supposed, because it gave me like it on my in my VS Code is showing that it's like crossed out the cat.html. So I wanted to move it back. So if I go to my GitHub desktop, I should be able to do discard change, right?
Yes, to undo it. Yep. To reset the position, yeah, you can discard the change and try again.
Okay, because I wasn't sure how to move it back out of the barn.
Yeah, if you want to start from a clean slate, I like your idea of discarding change and trying again. Alternatively, yeah, you can try to figure out where the cat is and move it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, keep hunting. It sounds like you know what you're doing. Anybody else have a question about moving animals in the barn? Anybody think that they got all the animals in the barn?
The animals are actually on the farm on my computer. They're not in the barn.
Did you make a folder called farm and put it in there?
I did not make a folder called farm.
Genevieve, did you get Taylor? You think you got it? Did you commit and push?
I got them all.
Okay, Genevieve and Taylor think that they've got it, so I'm gonna share my screen and let's take a look.
Oh, wait, I forgot to push. Hold on.
All right, I'll just jump to Taylor. Oops, that's I want your GitHub. Animals forked. Moved animals into the barn. All right, here we go. Cow moved into the indoor pen. Chicken, you deleted out of the indoor pen. Looks good. Wait, hold on. Taylor, you renamed the cow you turned the cow into a barn.
I told it to move it to the barn, but I don't know how.
You literally moved it into the barn. And then the horse was moved into the barn as well, and the goat just died. Looks like the goat just died.
Made a sacrifice.
I heard the
Experience
sacrifice.
kinetic.
Yeah.
He experienced kinetic energy on the way to the barn.
Genevieve, you think you got it?
Okay.
Animals. Moved animals to barn. All right, let's see. The cat moved into the barn. The chicken moved into the barn. The cow moved into the barn. The goat moved into the barn. And the horse moved in the barn. Very nice. Nicely done.
See, Nate,
Yeah.
why is it saying file renamed without changes on all of them? I think that's been on everybody's files.
Right, because the file was technically renamed. It was one path and now it's the new path. So the content of the file hasn't changed. I put cute, I'm sure maybe some people saw it, but I put real cute emojis inside of each one of these that correspond with the animal. Anyways, nice
So
job, Genevieve.
what I'm
And you
getting from
deleted the pens. Nice.
Oh, I didn't know I deleted the pens. Whoops. So what I'm getting from the move is you have to target what folder they're in and then the HTML.
Exactly.
Okay.
I think what might have tripped Taylor up earlier is that the first argument was what you want to move. Got it right. The second argument is where you want to move it to. If you don't specify where you want to move it to and the name of the file, you can rename a goat as a barn and a horse as a barn, that sort of thing.
So like when I moved them though, I did MV and then I had to do outdoor, indoor pen, whichever one they were in, and then the HTML. You can't just put MV and then move the HTML to the barn. You have to put that indoor or outdoor pen.
Yeah, exactly. You have to specify where they are relative to where your terminal is. So for folks that are still working on this, let me give you one example of an MV. So right now I'm in the animals folder. If I do an LS, I see that there's a barn, there's a cat, there's an indoor pen and an outdoor pen. MV takes two arguments. It takes what you want to move and where you want to move it to. From where I am in the terminal, the indoor pen and the outdoor pen are right below me. They're right there. So I can't just say goat.html because the goat is, I think the goat is in the outdoor pen. Yeah. So I can't just move the goat into the barn. If I do this, it fails because it says that there is no such file or directory. It can't find the goat. And that's because I need to move not the goat.html, but I need to move the outdoor pen goat.html into the barn as the file goat.html. So now if I go move into the barn and I look around, the goat is moved into the barn.
Yeah, I didn't put, like, you know how you did pen goat, outdoor pen goat, and then barn goat? Like, I
Mhm.
did outdoor pen goat and then barn. I didn't do the barn goat.
So you just did
I can share it with you and
this.
show you.
Oh, you
Yeah,
just
that's what I
renamed.
did too.
No, I
You-
did outdoor pen / goat
Uh-huh.
and then space to barn. Yep, and then to barn, like I didn't put anything after the barn and it's still,
Oh, interesting. Let me so I am back at the situation where, sorry. Just ignore what I'm doing. All right. I have reset back to a blank folder. So you said you moved from the outdoor pen,
Mhm.
the goat, to the barn. That's
Yep.
it.
That's it.
So what does that do? I think it makes it works. Interesting. I thought that it would replace the barn folder with the goat HTML, but it looks like that did exactly what you wanted it to do.
Cool.
There's no, I would kind of encourage you to do the more verbose option here, where instead of just saying move the goat HTML into the barn, I would encourage you to also type out goat.html, because that's in effect what you want it to do, right? Is you want the goat to live in the barn. And then that fails because the goat is moved into the barn now. All right. Anybody else have questions? Tara, do you want to share your screen? Show us what you got.
Well, I went indoor pen to barn. I didn't specify the animals inside of there. So I
Mhm.
guess I'm gonna start over. I guess I
Well-
moved the whole folders.
Did you commit and push it up? I can also check online and see.
I did commit and push it up.
So let me see. So what you ended up pushing, if I share my screen for a minute. What you ended up pushing was you killed the cat. So the barn, you killed the cat and then moved everything inside of the pen and the outdoor pen. No, you didn't kill the cat. The cat's still here. It's right there. You technically did everything correctly. You moved the cat inside the barn, and you also moved the indoor and the outdoor pens into the barn.
But I was supposed to just move the animals out of the folders into the barn folder and leave the folders where they originally were, right?
Exactly. Leave the pens where they are. Don't move the pens into the barn. Just move the animals into the barn.
So to take the pens back out of the barn, I would just go backwards from what I did originally.
Yeah, so if you wanted to move the pens out of the barn, you would say MV, wherever the pens are. Right now they're inside the barn folder. So MV barn indoor pen. Move those back to the top of the folder. You can, let me show you how that would work. Because I think you need one more command that I haven't shown you in order to make this work. So I'm going to do what Tara has done. So she has taken the pens and moved them into the barn. I can do the same thing. I'll move the indoor pen into the barn, and I'll also move the outdoor pen into the barn. Now, if I go inside the barn and look around, the goat's in here and the indoor and the outdoor pens are in here. Makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
So from within the barn, I can MV the indoor pen ... which means take the pen and move it up, move it outside of the folder that I'm currently in. And now if I ls, I'm still inside the barn. It's just the goat, just the outdoor pen.
Oh, okay.
Did you try it? Did it work for you?
I did. It did.
Okay.
I saw it move out on my VS Code from the barn to outside of the barn.
Now, at the risk of confusing you even further, let me show you one more way of doing this. So the outdoor pen on my machine is still in the barn. I'm going to CD up. So now if I do an LS, I'm sitting at the top here. There's the barn, the cat, the indoor pen. So I left the barn. I'm sitting at the top of the repository. I'm going to reach into the barn and grab the outdoor pen and bring it to where I'm at. To do that, I'm going to MV. I'm going to go inside the barn. So type out barn slash. I'm going to type in outdoor pen. So I'm going to reach from where I'm at all the way into the barn, find the outdoor pen, and then I'm going to bring it to where I am right now. The syntax for doing that is dot. So dot dot means up above you. So one folder above you. Dot means where you are currently. So now if I LS, we've brought the indoor pen and the outdoor pen. I preface that with confusing you. I know that I'm throwing a lot at everyone. And just as a reminder, this is all about exposure. I don't expect everybody to fully grok this. I just want you to feel comfortable doing some of this basic stuff. If you feel more comfortable moving into the barn and then moving things from the barn up, do it that way. Alternatively, you can also reach into folders and grab things out of them and pull them to where you're at. Question, Palash?
Right. Can I share my screen so you can see my commands?
Please do.
Okay. So I just want you to see these few down here.
Okay.
So I went into animals. I LS'd this is the directory. I went into outdoor pen, and then I looked up and I did the ls. It's good HTML and horse HTML there. Then I what Jen did, like move horse.html to barn. What it did was it created this barn file. Yeah, I thought it was a folder, but when I do this, it says it's not a directory. So it created this file. So how do you, once we end up doing that, how do we retrieve our file from there?
Well, first off,
what did I do wrong?
First off, you have an impeccable intuition here, because that is exactly what has happened. You have fully described the problem that you run into. So now we just need to turn barn back into a horse. So you can do the same thing, do the MV, but in vice versa. Move it from being a barn back into a horse.html.
I see.
So now
I did the same thing, bro. Like
so it didn't actually move anything, it actually transformed it.
I was making a barn into the outdoor pen. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
But that's the secret here, is that you're really, when you move stuff, all you're really doing is renaming it. Like, we've grown accustomed to Finder and Explorer, like on Windows, where we're like navigating and there's this whole like adventure you go on where you click into things and you're jumping through folders and stuff. That doesn't really exist. It's just names and paths. So like, as you just realized, like, MV, when you rename stuff, it's really just changing the name. So now from where you're at, I think you're back to where you want to be.
Yep, it's back.
Great example. Great example.
So why? So I have my question here. Like, why didn't it move? Like, so we CD outdoor barn, right? So we could ls and see the files in the horse and whatever else was in there, cow thing, right? A goat. So why couldn't we just mv go.html to barn? Why didn't it do that?
You can totally do that, but when you're sitting inside of the pen, barn doesn't exist. Barn is one layer, one folder above you. The pen is a sibling to the barn. It's all sitting in that flat.
So
in
we
that
have
flat
to put
directory.
2 dots after the barn.
Yeah, so let me share my screen and show you. If you're inside of, and then I'll jump over to you, Shannon. Inside of the outdoor pen, if you want to, so I'm inside of one of the pens and I want to move it into the barn, I can do mv horse.html ... to bring it up a level. This wouldn't put it in the barn, but go up a level. /barn. That would move the horse from inside the pen up, over, down into the barn.
Basically, it would move instead of saying like up. I get confused. I think it would move out of the folder, a level out of the folder of the outdoor, and then it would look for barn.
Yep.
Perfect.
What if we define the entire like documents, GitHub, animal 3, outdoor pen, and the file name? Will that work?
That would also work, yeah. Let me give an example. If you go into the indoor pen, I'm going to move documents, animals, indoor pen, chicken, documents, GitHub, animals, barn. That also works.
I
You
will
can
just
get, yeah, you can get really complicated with this.
Yeah.
Yep. So thank you, rest of class, for indulging us while we went off on that confusing tangent. Shannon.
Can I just share my screen?
Please do. Yeah. Yeah. This is a hard one to just describe with words.
Okay. I'm trying to find what I'm actually. Oh my gosh.
And for folks that might be feeling a little overwhelmed by this, don't worry. I'm just letting people try to figure out how to move the animals around the barn, and then I'm going to come back and show how to do it. Take a stab at it. See if you can do it. You're not going to screw up your computer.
Can you see the actually
Yep.
the terminal?
Yep. So I think what happened here is at the very top you typed CD and that brought you back to the home directory. So you left the animals folder. So let's get you back in the right spot. Just close this terminal. You can hit that trash can, I think. Is that how you close it in VS Code? Yeah, keep going. One more. There you go. Yep. And then right click on the, yeah, exactly. Right click on the barn. Yep. So now you're inside of the barn. Let's go up a level though and leave the barn. So CD ... close ... is going to bring you up. Yep. Now do an LS and let's take a look at what's in here. Cool. So now you're looking at the barn, the cat, the indoor pen, and the outdoor pen. So let's start with one of the easy ones. Let's move the cat into the barn. So the command to move something is MV. Yep. And then MV takes 2 arguments. It takes what you want to move, where you want to move it to. So let's move the cat into, yep, cat. Yep, exactly. But be careful, it's cat.html. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep, hit enter. Now let's check to see if you got it right. I guess technically you can see that you got it right over on the left, which is cheating. Do an LS. All right, see, notice how the cat has disappeared. Presumably it's in the barn now.
Yeah, and I think I was doing it before, but I was just in the wrong place because I kept putting it in and it was just like, there's no file there.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think I got it now, but thank you.
Yeah, go ahead and try moving the animals from the indoor pen and the outdoor pen. And just remember, if you feel like you get lost and it's not, it's saying file not found, that sort of thing, do the same thing again. Drop the terminal, reopen it, and give it another shot.
Okay.
And
Awesome.
Shannon, you just helped
Thank you.
me learn it a little better too.
Oh, good.
When you're like in the indoor pen, you don't have to specify indoor pen before you grab the cat or whatever animal you're grabbing from in there.
Yep. Because when you're in the terminal, it's like being in Finder. You're physically moving into these locations. So you have to think about what's relative to where you're at. Other questions? Anybody else feel like they got the animals into the barn? Danny, did you commit and push? Can I check on your? You did? Awesome. I'm gonna take a look. Yeah, just do a couple more minutes of this, and then got a couple more things I want to show you before we call it for tonight. Move the animals. All right. Let me share my screen. Thank you, Latonya. All right, so this is Danny's. We can see that the cat successfully made it to the barn. The chicken in the barn, cow in the barn, goat in the barn. Very nice. You got all of them. Great job.
I had a question, but it's to the students. I mean, like, so did you guys completed the capstone wireframe or whatever you had to do? Shit, I don't know what the hell. Like, I did it. I mean, I did my in Figma, but I don't know. I'm still confused about that yet.
Nice job, Brady. You got all of them in, except for wait, we're missing one. Brandy, we're missing the cat. The cat, you left the cat outside the barn.
Oh, for some reason I thought the cat was supposed to stay out of the barn.
Hey, that's fair enough.
All right.
I'm just gonna pick on a couple more people. Shay. Animal move test. In the barn, you got cat and horse. Nice. And then the cow was turned into an animal. So I think that this is, if the cow ended up getting renamed as an animal, this is probably where you ran MV cow and then put animals as the location. So it ended up renaming the cow as an animal. All right. Corwin.
I ain't finished it yet. My bad. I was over here eating.
No worries. All right. Cool. All right. Well, so that's just a little bit of practice with the terminal. I'm going to move on and show you a couple more handy terminal commands, and then that'll be it for this evening. So I've shown you how to do some stuff in the terminal and using it kind of as a replacement for going and doing stuff in Finder, like moving files around. It's one of those things that you'll just have to practice and stick with. I promise that if you take the time to learn to move and navigate in the terminal, it'll pay off in the long run. But one of the things that's really nice is if you are in the terminal and you're sort of like, I don't know what I'm doing or where I'm at, you can escape the terminal back into Finder. And what I mean by that is if you've got your terminal open. So like right here, I'm inside of the indoor pen, inside of the animals project. If you type open dot, that will give you a finder window wherever the terminal is. Could be just useful if you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. Where am I? So this just opened up a window for me, and I could see that the cow is still an indoor pen. So open dot is pretty handy. You could also do open and then pass the name of a file. So if I open cow.html, open will try to open it in whatever program it's associated with on your Mac. So if it's an HTML file, it'll try to open it in the browser. If it's a photo, it'll try to open it up in preview, that sort of thing. So open is just kind of a nice command to remember.
So I'm sorry, what's your name? I forgot. The teacher.
Nathan?
Yeah, okay, sorry, Nathan. I was gonna ask you, so you're gonna be with us the next week also, or just this week?
No, this is just today. You'll be rid of me after today. You'll be back to do a JavaScript with Max.
Sure, like I don't know if you so I can make sure all my questions are clear before you leave.
Yeah, no, I'll be around. You can always message me on Slack, and I'll also see you before graduation.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nate,
So,
aren't you doing
go ahead.
second half of DevOps? Aren't you gonna be back for like in a
You and
month, maybe?
yeah, you and I will be back, right? You're TAing for me.
Yeah, so this is just like the first leg of what Nate does, and then he's gonna come back and I'll be back with him to do like more advanced DevOps stuff. Sorry.
All right, so now I'm gonna
Before
dig
we
in.
record, can you just show the last command that you did? Because when I tried to do it too, it's saying it doesn't exist. So I don't know if I'm not on the right level.
Open doesn't exist.
Oh, no. Well, when you went to do open and then look for a specific file in the, do you have to go with, like, because I guess I'm in like the animals, so it won't drill down from like animals into barn into like cat. Will it do that? I don't know. I just want to see
can.
what you did the last
Yeah, it
time.
can. Let me show you one more time. You totally can drill down. So you said you were at animals. Let me get to where you're at. All right, so I'm sitting at animals as well. I'm looking at the barn. I can see the cat and the indoor pen, outdoor pen, that sort of stuff. So you can use open in one of two ways. You can use open dot, which means open wherever you are in the terminal in a Finder window. It's just
Yeah.
really handy to have. And then you can also open files in VS Code or with Chrome just by typing open and then the path to wherever it is that you want to open. So if you want to reach down into a pen and open something, you can say open indoor and cow.html. And that will open it up in your browser. You can open.
Okay, that's what I was missing.
Okay.
I just did it like open and then the cow.html without the barn.
Right. You have to, from wherever you are in the terminal, you have to make sure that you remember what the path is to get to it.
Okay, thank you.
Good catch. All right. This is completely optional. For the folks that want the terminal that I have, where it has your name and then your computer name, and then it shows you the path to wherever you're at. Feel free to install Brew. The command to do it is here. I'll paste it into Slack.
I think we already installed the Brew.
You have Homebrew installed? Everybody has Homebrew?
Yes.
Awesome. Oh, it's so painful to install. Did you guys have fun installing it before?
Yes, because then you have to allocate the files and all that nonsense. We did it with,
And source it.
yeah.
Oh, it's a massive pain. That's so awesome. I'm
It
so
was
glad that everybody
easier
got that
before.
installed.
I think 2 years ago was easier to install it, but I think after like I think M1 chip and shit came out, I think it's harder.
Cool. I'm so that has made my day. All right.
First
Well,
of all,
let's
I'm
jump
loving the excitement because the instructor is still smiling, like literally cheek to cheek.
He's
That is
happy.
great.
Dude, it is a pain. It is a pain to install. So I'm so happy that you guys have it. So let's move on to the fun stuff then. Let's install stuff with it. So the first program I'm going to show you is called HTOP. So go into the terminal and say brew install HTOP and hit enter. To do a bunch of stuff. And install that program. Once you have it installed, once Brew finishes spitting out whatever it says when it's installing things, once it finishes, type in HTOP and hit enter.
Is it okay that we're still in like the animals installing it? Okay. I was like, oh man.
No, HTOP can be run anywhere on the computer. Yep. Good question. Is anybody able to get HTOP running on their Mac?
Yeah, I did it.
Shay got it. Nice. Once you have Brew installed HTOP, so once you've gone into the terminal and typed Brew install HTOP and hit enter, once that has finished installing, just type HTOP and hit enter. So this is, I'm going to leave this for you to explore, but this is really the activity monitor for software developers. So this is kind of like Task Manager, but for power users. So you can kind of see what's going on. You've got your memory usage, all of the cores, so you can see how hard your CPU is working. All of this will be a little bit more relevant when you start writing backend JavaScript because it's a bit more resource intensive. But keep this in your back pocket. This is just a handy way to be able to see what your computer is doing without necessarily needing to leave the terminal. To exit out of it, just press Q on your keyboard, Q for quit. Just the letter Q, and that should bring you back to the terminal. All right. So that's HTOP. We're gonna skip over PS and LSOF. All right, we have already covered dig, but just real quick, because you have been in the terminal today. To run dig, it takes one argument. You type in dig and then the name of a website. So like google.com. That will show you the DNS entry for a domain. This is handy for troubleshooting if you're setting up a domain name. So like the domain that I bought earlier was cohort 5. And I can see that it's correctly assigned to some IP addresses. That just helps me validate that alias record that we put into Namecheap is correctly set. That's dig. We talked a little bit about that yesterday already. Another really, really useful command is touch. In the terminal, if you say touch and then the name of a file that doesn't exist, it will create it for you. So let's say that in VS Code, let's say that I'm in the animals, I'm going to go into the barn, I'm going to touch dog.html. So that created an empty file called dog.html. So touch just lets you create brand new empty files. So touch zebra.html. And you can see that that just created an empty zebra.html file. So really handy for just instantly creating files, again, without having to go up and click the plus icons or saving a new file, that sort of thing. Now, this is just coincidence. Cat, it has nothing to do with the actual animal, but from within the terminal, you can print out the content of a file without having to open up VS Code. Cat also takes one argument. It takes the name of the file that you want to print out. So if you go into the terminal and say cat goat.html, it just prints it out directly into the terminal. So you don't need to have VS Code open. You don't need to have anything other than your terminal, and you can see what's inside of a file. Shannon, right now I'm just giving a quick overview of some of these extra commands. These are not, you don't have to be typing these into your terminal unless you want to try these out on your own. All right, and then lastly, Oh by Z Shell. This is what gave me the cool themes in mine. And it kind of like Brew, it's a little painful to install. So I don't think I'm going to try to get everyone to install Oh my Z Shell. You can use the terminal that comes with the Mac. You can use that one and you'll be just fine. But if you love customizing things and you like pretty neon colors and fun styles, then you will really like Oh my Z Shell. To install it, it's one of those things kind of like Brew, where you take this command and you paste it into the terminal and you hit enter and it will start the installation process. So feel free to check it out. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Can you paste that in the chat?
Totally. Yeah. I'm going to paste the link to the website first, and then I'm going to paste the command. All right.
You said just copy and paste into the terminal and it won't work, right?
If you copy and paste it, it will start the installer.
And then what? And then you're gonna have to dig in a little bit.
And then I think it'll ask you a couple questions. You might have to hit the enter key a few times, that sort of thing.
Mine just installed. I just copy pasted and hit enter and it installed.
And it just installed. Okay. To
Yeah.
see it in action, open up a brand new terminal and it will load with your terminal should look a little different. Does it look different now? Yeah. Now you've got Oh my Z Shell installed. I guess the next steps that I would point you to for learning how to use it, or probably the coolest thing that you can do is there's a whole bunch of themes. Let me find the link to the themes. So here's a website that shows, if it loads. Here's a website that shows all of the Oh my ZSH themes. And how it works is you take the name of the theme and you have to put it inside of your ZSHRC file, which I can show real quick if people are interested in that.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Okay.
the first time you shared this with our group, I went in and I felt like it was too overwhelming to do. But then when I realized all I had to do was go through that file and literally just pop in the names, I was like, oh, this is easy. So I think showing it would be great.
Okay. It's going to be a little tricky, but let's go and open up a VS Code. I think this will work. Open up VS Code. let me see if I can get to it from here. Nope, it's a hidden file, so it's not going to be there. All right. How are we going to do this? Sorry, one second. I'm trying to think of the easiest way to get to this. Yeah, that's going to be the easiest. Okay, in a terminal, type in this. And you should get a text editor.
Can you copy that code into, oh, thanks.
All right. You should get a little text editor. Just can somebody confirm that you get a little text editor window?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there should be a ZSH theme equals something with quotes. Does somebody see that?
Yeah, it says Robbie Russell.
Robbie Russell? Okay. That is what you want to change. So the one that I use is called Fino, F-I-N-O. So if you change Robbie Russell to F-I-N-O, you'll get the one that I've been using in class. Alternatively, you could that ZSH themes that I pasted. If you find something that you like on here, you can grab the name and throw it into that file and save. To see it in action, to see the theme actually in action, save and then open up a new terminal. You have to open up a new terminal to get the theme to reload. But if you like mine, you could use Fino. There's all sorts of themes you could.
It worked.
It worked. Cool.
Perfect. Thank you.
We pasted in every place where we replaced where Robbie Russell is. And
No, just that one, just the one spot.
Don't mess with it too much.
Yeah, just the one where it says ZSH theme. That's the one that you're trying to change.
oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
All right. For everybody else, it's not and doesn't know what the heck we're doing. I appreciate you bearing with us. We're just tweaking our terminals. This is completely optional. It's all eye candy. It's I think it makes a big difference, but you can certainly get through the program without doing this to your terminal. So that's all of the terminal knowledge that I want to share with you. Hopefully you got to practice a little bit moving files around inside of the barn. And hopefully you feel a little bit more comfortable with the terminal than you did when we got started. I don't expect you to be a wizard with the terminal. I just want you to feel more comfortable with it. And Max is going to give you some commands to run in the future. And when he does, I'm hoping that you'll feel a little bit more comfortable and go, oh yeah, this makes sense to me. So if you didn't get all the animals into the barn, or you left the cat out of the barn, it's totally fine. Don't stress over it. All right. That is all I've got for you tonight. Come to office hours, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about how to rent a physical server. We'll spend a dollar or two spinning up a server. Also, come to office hours if you just have general questions. I'm happy to talk about terminals, computers. I don't feel like I need to talk about websites because it seems like everybody is walking away with a working website, which was really the goal of this week. So if you got your website done, congratulations. But come to office hours if you want to chat, hang out and learn a couple things, ask some questions. Otherwise, I will see everybody in several weeks. I think I come back around week 26. I think 26, so somewhere late in the game. But I get to see all of you when you're about to deploy your capstone with the database and all the backend code. So I'm always really excited because seeing the transformation is incredible.
Are you gonna be the one who's gonna teach us APIs?
No, I'm not. My good friend Ryan Goss is going to be teaching you a bit about APIs. He's going to be another one of the guest instructors in the middle, and you all will love him. He's a
Because I need like that's what my project is. So I need to. I'm already looking into a little bit. Like I get it, like, but I want to by the instructor will be better.
Yeah. Well, everybody will learn. You'll learn a bit about APIs, and I forget what week it is, but Ryan is coming up soon, and I think Max will do a little bit. But keep working on your JavaScript. I'm excited to see how that turns out. Don't miss me too much next week. But other than that, I really appreciate all of you working on your websites this week and working with you, and I look forward to seeing you at the end. I will stick around for a bit, but that's it for tonight. And have a great rest of your week. And come to office hours if you want. Otherwise, I'll catch you in a few months.
Well, thanks for working with us.
Thank you.
Oh, don't forget to leave me feedback.
Thanks, Nate.
Yeah, thank you.
Nate,
Hey, Blush.
can you throw some